Hello everyone. Another Saturday, another week. Welcome to this week's Australian news highlight in terms of real estate. This is a very hot day,
Yeah, very
steamy hot day. And then Gary suggested we can do it on the balcony next time in the shorts, which we are going to seriously consider.
It's like this next week.
If I'll wear a tie. Yeah, but if I wear a tie, give me a break about anything else I'm wearing. Oh my God. Let's have a look what's happening in this week. Oh, before we started, please make sure that if you like our video, just subscribe to our channel, and we'll keep producing more and more quality videos regarding Australian real estate market. And then apart from the news thing, eventually we're going to run out some deep analysis about our opinion and ideas about what we have. And then looks like this year is the interesting year, and then next year will be a more interesting year. So let's just if you like, make sure to subscribe and click like, and then put us in your favorites so you can get the subscription notification whenever I have something new come up. All right, so with no further ado, let's go into the articles. All right, so the first one is about the stamp duty thing and how it's impact on the market. So remember last week we have talked about the stamp duty changes or potential stamp duty changes for New South Wales. And then in general, whenever government roll out these sort of stamp duty changes, the buyers will hold off a little bit until this thing becomes a little bit more clear. And it looks like the government is still going to be consulting with the public until next year March in order to make a decision. And so this is really something that had just come out as a proposal, and it's been a proposal for a long time actually.
Yeah, well, he's been talking about it for a long time.
Yeah,
A year, I reckon.
Yeah, so we'll see how it goes from here. But what's happening in the actual market is that the stamp duty reform proving no deterrent for keen offshore, North Shore property buyers. So people are still buying regardless anyway.
Yeah, well, I think as we've always said, they're going to keep on buying at least until Christmas.
That's right.
And we're going to keep seeing record prices. But the telltale thing was in that report last time, it said that the changes, if they come in, would raise, if I recall correctly, an additional 11 billion for New South Wales over a period of years, which means basically it's raising more money. It means the price is going up.
Oh, that's right.
So there's every incentive for people to buy now.
That's right.
And pay the old stamp duties.
That's right.
I'm not surprised it's having very little effect on the market.
And especially if you're a buyer in this market, majority of the buyers are owner-occupier.
Yeah.
And if you live in it, now if you own something, you're land tax free.
That's right.
You're keeping house free. Where if you buy it when the stamp duty comes out, then doesn't really, when the stamp duty get cut, if it gets cut, you will be paying a holding cost over your property.
Well, you'd be paying an element of the property tax.
That's right, property
which
tax.
reflects the fact you haven't paid the big lump sum, 5% or whatever it may be, for the stamp duty.
That's
so
right. Yeah.
You're paying it on the never.
That's right. And also, from what the people are like, in this market, especially for the buyers' behavior, it looks like the prices is probably gonna outrun the stamp duty percentages next year. At least that's what it seems. A lot of data shows the property prices has jumped by another 5 to 6% already. And your stamp duty is 5 to 6%. So your savings of stamp duty may end up being the same. When the property prices increases, which looks like is the way at the moment.
Well, as they keep going up. Yeah.
Yep, that's right. So obviously. There's a lot of sales still happening. One of the sales at Longview has a current median house prices at 4.18 million already, and areas like West Pymble, based on a median of 1.7 million, people will pay probably about $78,000 stamp duty. But all of these, even if we wait until next year, looks like the property prices is gonna just outshine all these stamp duties. Plus, you still have to pay, a property tax, which means you start to pay a holding cost. Where now, if you jump in the market to buy, you don't have to really worry about, the holding cost. And then this week we have a lot of record prices we need to cover, and we'll break up into a couple of different sections. First part being, really crazy sort of auctions, and then the next part will be about quick snatches, which means some properties are being sold as quick as 2 days after it's being on the market. Yeah. So let's jump into it. Every week we start with the eastern suburb. This week let's have a look at what North Shore is happening. Because like we always said, the eastern suburb, once it's booming to a certain level, people are gonna start moving to north. That's always has been, and this year has been no difference. There's a lot of record prices happening in Sydney's Upper North Shore as buyers keep coming. With just a few weeks left before Christmas, agents will continue to list new properties. And then it looks like the listings and the auctions are going to as late as the December 19th this year. Some of the crazy sales, let's just say, leading the result was the sale of number 31 Coringa Avenue in Turramurra. And then looks like Turramurra, was it 5 weeks ago when we were at Double Bay? We were doing the news article review. We were saying it's insane for Wollstonecraft to jump into $10 million, market, $10 million bracket, and then and without a view, it is a good house, but it's Wollstonecraft, right? And now Turramurra in Upper North Shore has officially joined $10 million club, which is 10.125 million for a property recently being sold in the suburb, and it's $4 million above the previous record in the same suburb. And the previous record was made in 2016, so this is just, and 2016 was everyone considered the peak of the market. So this particular property started at 8.8 million. It's a Victoria era mansion, has an underground multi-million-dollar renovation, and in 4 years just a couple bought it, and then so it is a beautiful property, but talking about $10 million in Turramurra is just another level. So it's a hot, intense auction, and then things it's big house, things just keep going. There's another big sale in Warrawee, for a 2,643 meters of land, 6-bedroom, and it was just breaking another record month.
It's just yet another suburb with a $10 million property sale in it, isn't it?
Really? Amazing.
Spreading like wildfire.
That's right. And now it's in the Upper North Shore now. And let's look at this Lane Cove property. So this house in Lane Cove has sold in a marathon style for $3.727 million. For those of you who are not living in Sydney, to attend the auction today in the outdoor environment is really a challenge. It's a big challenge.
It's a rare thing.
But that didn't stop the heat for the buyer who's fighting over for this particular Lane Cove property under the 34 degrees temperature, and the auction lasts for over 20 minutes as well. So it's not just about the money, and it's also about the stamina. And then it looks like this is a beautiful property, by the way, and the end result is about $177,000 above the reserve, and an incredible $427 above the guide. So the starting bid, the agent has offered a bottle of champagne given to whoever started proceedings, to making sure the buyer stayed hydrated. And the open offer is $3 million. For their biddings rose quickly, increment between 25,000 to 50,000, as 5 bidders increased entered the pressure cooker, and then slow down at about 3.5 million, and then goes between sort of 2,000 to 10,000 for nearly 15 minutes, until the upsides is put out a $3.725 million offer, and then the other buyer sealed the deal with a final $2,000 to take over the $3.727 million home. It just I'm pretty sure in this case the vendor is very, very happy.
Ah, sure, sure.
Yeah, the vendor is returning to New Zealand, so they're selling that home. But it is a beautiful place. Like, it's completely redone. It's new, or almost new. It's got a lot of style to it as well. So this will be a beautiful home for anyone to live in. It just this auction is one of the 890 Sydney auctions scheduled for this weekend, a 9.4% increase from the last weekend. So there are more properties are now in the market for auction at the end of November, which is very, very rare. I haven't seen really any market this hot when it was already end of November. But looks like the thing is still going. So another one, there we go. In general, I remember we had a news before about REAL Group statistics, where they say on average there are 3 to 5 bidders registered for auction, and 3 bidders being very active in the auction as a good market, as a very good market. This one in particular in Bondi Beach has attracted 39 bidders. So it's about 12, 13 times more popular than the average good market. So let's take a look what's happening there. And the price was $1 million above the reserve. And this is the buyer, a young couple. So with the massive 39 registrations, little wonder that the 4-bedroom early 20th century beach house, rich for creativity and redevelopment opportunity at 47 Beach Road, has sold for $3.73 million. So it looks like Bondi is just not stopping.
No.
So for this price, it looks like the one that we have talked about a few weeks ago at about early to mid $2 million is a really good deal. This one is $3.73 million, and a lot of famous people are over there as well. There are, the art dealer Steve, who we're gonna talk about his property just a bit later, because we talked about his property last week, and this week it has finally been sold. And then there's also the Channel 7 commercial director is also there as well. So it looks like everyone is going there for this bargain. And what's amazing about this $3.73 million sale is the land size for this particular property is only 262 square meters. So it's a very tiny little block. And then it looks like there's a lot of job need to be done to this home. And look at the number of people. Look at all these people that at the auction. It's just amazing. It started at 2.8 million, and then the range of increment are between 10,000 to 100,000. Between the 6 bidders. When it stopped at 3.5, it just, everyone thought that was it, but it wasn't it, isn't it? Yeah, it wasn't it, and the whole thing was just, it didn't stop until $3.73 million.
Yeah.
It's amazing. All right, another one about Sydney auctions. Let's take a look at units. The units are really good this year as well. We always talk about when the house prices are becoming so affordable, then people are gonna start to look at townhouses, little cottages, and then we're gonna talk about very little cottages just a bit later in one of the news article. But this Kirribilli unit with a view has been sold for $2.485 million. And when I first saw this, I think, okay, so if it's got Sydney Harbour and Opera House view, and it's only $2.485 million, it's actually not a bad deal, right? But when I look at the size of it, You know, I was like, really? So it's not a new building, and the size of this property is only 60 something square meter. Plus, there is no car space,
Yeah.
and there's no balcony neither.
Well, it's one of the older properties down in Kirribilli, and that's what they're
right.
like.
Yeah, so no car space, no balcony, 64 square meter of size, has sold for almost like a crazy 39,000 a meter. You know, 39,000 a meter, you don't see them in the old units. You
Well,
just
you do
don't see
now.
that. Well, yeah, we see, you live in long enough, you see everything, right? Yeah, 39,000 meter for the 64 square meter property, you know, this is just absolutely amazing. It does have a really good view. This is like the picture perfect view,
Yeah.
you know, for, you know, it's like a postcard view, but still, I mean, this is just, you know, the auction price is it just goes off the roof, you know. The price indication, the price guide is 2 million to 2.2 million. And originally, it was purchased and traded in 2013 for only 1.085 million.
1.085
million. It was last traded in
So it's basically
2013.
1.1.
1.1, now it's
in-
2.485. So in less than 7 years,
Was it? When
it was
it?
2013.
2013.
So it's less than 7 years and then more than double.
That's incredible, isn't it?
That's just absolutely incredible. 2013 was the first year I actually joined real estate. You know, should have bought in Kirribilli. And another one is this little terrace townhouse-ish home, and it was traded for $500,000 above the reserve. This little house has been sold for $4.8 million. The bid started at 3.5, and two bedroom remained at about $4.2 million mark until, you know, this property has been sold for $4.8 million. Look at this. Even the house in Castle Hill has sold for $1.54 million with 13 registered bidders registered on this 708 square meters home. Wow. Okay.
Well, you know, just
Yeah. Yeah. Looks like not just the weather is hot, you know.
Well,
the
as
market
we've
is
said, the
hot
market
too.
is going to be hot and hot until Christmas, and we just got to keep
We're just gonna
Go
keep
with it.
keep go with that. Yeah. So this
good time to sell.
good time to sell for sure.
As long as you've got, you know, something else to buy,
That's right. Yeah. So it's where you trade up to. That's the issue, right? It's where you trade up to. But if you have somewhere you can trade up to, then this is it. You know, this is a good timing. No problem. So let's keep going on this Alpha Beta. Alpha Beta Australian director Andrew Charlton snuffles Bellevue Hill trophy home for $16.1 million at auction. You know, when you see numbers like this now, you know, it's becoming weaker. Like before, where you see 10 million, you see 10
That's
million
right.
is just really a lot of money. And now, you know, Taramara is $10 million. Sorry, so it's
Well,
yeah,
a house in Turramurra, but Turramurra is now $10 million.
$10 million suburb. So you know, $16.1 million in Bellevue Hill is actually not that bad anymore, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this one is located on 101 Victoria Road. On the balcony of the master suite, you have a beautiful harbor view. You know, the bid started it. The agency was one of our partner, River Double Bay, who will be working together with us on many other listings. Look at the buyers; they're all standing straight, ready for battle. You know, when I offered to, I think the starting bid was somewhere around what? So the buyer that actually win the auction has entered the race at about $15.4 million when it was we actually started it. and it was the war started about 14.5 million, and the agent and the auctioneer constantly to encourage people to, go into the auction, and then it goes to 14.6, and the bid sort of work between $10,000 and $50,000 until it goes all the way to what it is, 16.1, and then at the Gateway Fall, Charlton kissed his wife. $16.1 million. There we go. Okay, let's have a look at apartment again. So apartment market, property developer Nicholas Gazelle sells double bed apartment. I think that is the one that he has in Cosmopolitan.
Oh,
Yeah. On Knox Street. So this property developer has found a buyer for his double bed apartment secured at $6.225 million in the pet-friendly Stanford Cosmopolitan complex.
so he bought it in 2017 for 5, and he just sold it for
6.225.
Yeah. So you got basically 20% increase.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, if it's not double, it doesn't work, right? Yeah, but it's double bay, it's beautiful home. Thinking about the time that he can enjoy himself in it as well, And I see a lot of people doing a lot of worse than him, in this
Yeah.
market. But, thinking about $6 million above for a 3-bedroom apartment, and not to mention this is actually a 3-bedroom leasehold apartment as well. So Cosmopolitan is actually not a freehold. Yeah. Oh well. There we go. Okay. Now come to the art dealer.
Steve.
Yeah, Steve. This guy really knows what he wants. Really knows what he wants. Last.
Wanted 13.5.
Yeah, he wanted. So last week, if for those of you who hadn't tuned in to the broadcast, to the live stream, in last week's video, we actually have a article about Steve's property in Darling Point, where he actually auctioned his property and then got a $13 million bid at the auction. And what's even crazier is he passed it in. He didn't even take the deal, and he said he won nothing but $13.5 million. And this week, finally after a little bit of negotiation, he's got $13.25 million.
Oh, well, he's, a few extra days, he's got another $250,000,
That's right.
which is good.
Yeah, which is good.
Pay the agent's fee.
This is amazing. This is amazing. Yeah.
Done
So
well.
he's done well. He's done well.
It's a
So
beautiful house, beautiful apartment.
it's a beautiful apartment. It's one of the best renovations I have seen as well. But still, I mean, 13.25 million to an apartment. It's amazing price. It's actually a very amazing price. So in Australia, it looks like not only the house prices are non-stop going up, the apartments are now jumping the market.
They'll keep going.
That's right. Anything with a good view, in a good location, doesn't matter new or old, it's going. It's going, and going. All right. So let's take a look at this. You had a laugh at this one, when we see the photo of the actual cottages. So it's 1920s Mosman cottage, snapped up before the auction for more than 2.5 million. And when they say cottage, I've imagined, it wouldn't be that kind of cottage, but it's exactly what it is. This is so this is exactly what it looks like.
It's a doll's house.
I know. Look at this. Yeah, this is an early sale. So this one is about the next few sales are all about buyers jumping before auction, and snatch up a good deal. So this one is number 10 Hope Avenue, Mosman. 3-bedroom little cottages. There are 137 groups has visited the place during the campaign.
Not all at once, though.
Not at once. Not at
They
once.
couldn't get in.
Yeah, that's right. Or they can't even get out when they get in. And then the price guide was 2.5 million, and the agent indicated the actual final sold price is actually above the price guide. So it is got a very good style. It's got a good ceiling height. It's got a little pool or spa or something like that. Over 231 square meters of
I
land.
thought it was a fish pond.
Yeah. Oh, I thought that was too. Yeah. Very, very nice kitchen.
No, it's nicely done up.
Yeah, it's
At
nice
the end
done.
of the day, really, you can see that. You can see either a couple or a single person that just decided, well, I'll either buy an apartment or I'll buy that.
That's right.
And they'll never lose. It's a great location.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
true.
the
They own the
Military
land.
Road,
Yeah.
easy there. You don't really, you can either drive in very quickly on Military Road or just wander up and catch a bus.
That's right. Yeah, and I live in Mosman before. It is a beautiful area.
Yeah.
It is a convenient
Plenty of
area.
restaurants, etc.
Except for the
Walking
military
distance.
road, which is a bit unbearable at the peak hour.
Depends how far. I don't know. Is it-
Holt
which one
Avenue.
exactly?
Yeah.
I know where Holt Avenue is.
Yeah.
But I just don't know which end of Holt Avenue this one is. So
Yeah.
you're probably a fair way off the Military Road. So
I
away from
think
the
you
traffic
are.
noise.
Yeah, I think you are. And it's very close to shopping center as well.
Yeah,
So
there's shops and restaurants, lots of restaurants.
yeah. 2.5 million. Okay, another one. Classic Federation home in Roseville sells in just 3 days. 3 days. That's just amazing. This house is a quick sell. The price the original plan was to do an expression of interest campaign ending on the 11th of December. Price guide between 5.5 to $6 million. And then as soon as it's on the market, it was sold in just 72 hours
Yeah, to a Canberra buyer.
to a Canberra buyer. What's amazing?
They could do anything that quick from Canberra.
Yeah.
Government can't act that quickly.
That's right. Yeah, and the thing is, I think for this week, what's amazing is before you see a lot of Chinese buyers, right? So it's all about Chinese buyers. But now what you see is the locals now stepping up. They're starting to either upgrade or downgrade. So you see a lot of really strong local money are now going into properties. Going into good properties.
There you are. What the lady was saying, the agent, she was saying that the buyer had been looking around for some time.
That's right.
They obviously knew what they wanted, they knew the area they wanted, and when somebody said, oh, we just got the instruction on this, bang, they moved.
That's right. And
Which is good, it's a quick way.
yeah, and I think the story behind it, maybe they're just my guess, but you see all these people go to the auction, right? And then looks like, think about the other one who lose the house at about $2,000 bid at the end, right? So he must be very upset, and the other registered bidder who actually trying to bid is going to upset. But every time, if there's 39 people registered bid, that means 39 ready buyers who are going to buy a property one way or the other. But fortunately, they can only buy. There's only one property.
Only one property.
So the other 38 ready buyer who's got the money, bring in the cash, bring the check, went to the auction, ready for the campaign, has missed out. So there are 38 desperate, angry, buyers with money, are now roaming on the market, which is why you can see a lot of these things are being snatched up before the.
I think if
the
I was
auction.
a buyer, the advice you'd be giving them is, especially as everything we read is, it was more than what the guide price was, it was more than reserve, etc. it went for. So really, I think, if you know your property and you know your market and you've got the money and you're ready to go, the best thing is to try and, as soon as the thing comes on the market, it's what you think that's what you want, is get into the agency and make an offer.
That's right. That's right.
If you can do it before the auction, you probably bought well.
You probably bought well, and I would say, even if it's sold in just 3 days, but for a land that's about 1,153 square meters, with a beautiful backyard, with a beautiful pool and nice layout in Roseville, $5 to $6 million is actually not that bad of a deal. The buyer bought quick, but that doesn't mean they didn't buy well. I think they still buy well. And it's beautiful pool.
Well, the other thing is, I think you've got to think the vendor. You don't know what the vendor's circumstances. They may be desperate to make a sale.
That's right.
because they found something else they want to go off and put an offer in,
That's right.
and they want the comfort of having sold their place first to be able to put their best foot forward for where they want to go next in their life.
That's right. That's right.
So you know,
Yeah.
they'll take something rather than hold out to the auction.
That's right.
I mean, if I was the agent, I'd probably be saying, I'll hold on to the auction, you probably get more. And then they just say, well, we may not, but we're
Mhm.
comfortable with that. And
Yeah.
at the end of the day, we then got the security to move on and make another bid
Mm-hmm.
on another property where we want to go, wherever that may be.
Mm-hmm.
And so they'll take it.
They'll take it. Yeah.
So,
And just when I thought, 3 days is quick,
yeah.
I saw this one. Sold after
What
2
was it?
days.
No, just I know the guy.
Oh, you know Ron Murray?
Yeah. Yeah. So,
So he's the boss of the Murray coaches.
Yeah.
Yeah. We see a lot of his buses running.
yeah. So that's the thing. So, oh well, good on him.
Yeah. Sold after 2 days. It's probably a hard year for him though. Running a
That's
Of
true.
course
Well,
you
yeah. Well, he's getting on a bit now. So. But basically, yeah. I mean, he's probably had a hard year, and that's probably not why he's.
yeah. So
he's probably downsizing or something. I don't know.
so he offered. So the price guide of his property is actually $5 million, and then it was closed at $6 million. So even those 2 days, he sold his house for $1 million more than the price guide.
Yeah.
Highlighting the high demand for the houses.
Well, there you are. I mean, you're not going to get someone if you've got a price guide. I don't suppose anyone's going to take that as a vendor.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got to come in above, but knowing damn well that you're probably still under what they'll achieve. So, yeah, good on him.
Yeah, there we go. And then just a little bit, there's another iconic Darlinghurst Tower, Horizon. Singer and songwriter Don Spencer has sold his 2-bedroom for above his $2.25 million price guide after 20 days on the market, 26 days on the market. So it looks like exactly like we said, the house is too expensive, people moving into apartment market, and apartment market is booming. So it looks like, I think that's wrapped up for today, but the more news you see, it's all about record prices, quick sales. Look at this.
Well, I think it's going to keep going like this till Christmas.
It's going to keep going
unless
until.
there's a black swan, something terrible happens.
Yep.
I think we're going to keep on going like
That's
till
right.
Christmas.
That's right. So,
So
$1 million or anything like that, it just.
what I said a few months ago, and I just don't see it stopping. For that, until Christmas and a little bit after Christmas.
All right. So let's move into a little bit of Gary time, and let's take a look.
I haven't got a lot this
No-
week. I mean, it's
no
more
problem.
really to reiterate what's happening. What I said last time is the other economic powerhouses of the world. I mean, certainly China seems to have recovered fairly well, but America seems to be things. Every signal I get out of America is getting worse. They had the bidding, which is very boring, on the 30-year Treasury bills the other day. They sell them every month, and the bids came in there nearly, it's 30 years. 30 years normally the interest rate is higher than the short-term rates, which is 1 to 3 or up to 10, and they've come in really low. We're going to have, it's looking like we may even get negative 30-year interest rates on 30-year Treasury bills. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Thank God I bought some the other few months ago. Because I thought interest rates are going to go down. At the moment, there's a lot of people are in there. They think they're going to get this huge stimulus and inflation's going to take off. And they're all bidding the other way. And it's a record number of short positions. Right? So if I'm right, they're all going to get burnt and the bonds will shoot up. But anyway, there we go. Bonds are very hard to deal with because when interest rates go up, bond prices go down, and when interest rates go down, bond prices go up. It's really quite difficult to understand. Anyway, but the other thing is that there's more deflation coming out of Japan,
Yep.
Italy, Germany, France, which is about holding its own this week. You know, things look pretty dire, and unless the new president of the US can get a stimulus package through pretty quickly, and it doesn't look like he's going to be able to, because he's still got this issue where we don't know who. They've still got the 2 seats in the Senate, which have still got to be resolved. And then he's going to have a fight to get the stimulus package through. But you know, once they get that, they really need that stimulus. That's all I can say. Is at the end of December, all of their protections stop, and he won't be president until the 20th of January. So it doesn't look like they're going to get extended. Then you know, the US economy could really cop it. So and it looks, you know, I'll go through other things next week, I think, on a little bit more. We've gone past the panic stage of the crisis. We've gone past the hope stage now, and I think we're starting to move into what we call the insolvency stage on all these recessions.
Yep.
And that'll start playing itself out in the new year. Now, I think that's the same way Europe will go. And as we've always said, we anticipate seeing a few banks in Europe go down. I think we'll see some of the smaller banks in the US go down. And that'll obviously have a knock-on effect around confidence around the world. You know, we're pretty okay at the moment. We've managed to, so far, except for 2 cases today in South Australia, we've managed to get out of COVID. We've got a few more cases who've flown in, but we'll deal with them. You know, if we can open up our economies again, and as you know, the border with Queensland's opening in a few days' time on the 1st. What's that, 3 days' time? People will be able to go to holiday there, etc. Everything will happen. You know, I don't think it's going to be that much of a bounce, but it will gradually take on. I mean, the people up there must have been bleeding. Anyone with them on the holiday side must have been bleeding. But it's good, you know, at least we can keep going and turning and getting going. The only thing we're going to be lacking is our international travel market. Clearly we've got a big hit on the international students. And then obviously we've got this issue with China, with now them stopping our wine sales. So have to see how that plays out. You know, as I said, the good news about it means that we'll be able to buy lots and lots of cheap, good wine in Australia. Right, there'll be a flood of wine.
Yep.
Right. Peter said, "Oh yeah, I've been buying lobsters all year. He's had a good year on lobsters. You can see
It is a good lobster. So this side is the lobster, and this side is the Wagyu beef, right? Yeah. And then now I just need some good wine to wash them down.
That's right. There you are. Yeah. So, yeah. So we'll see what happens next year. But I think, you know, I've always said that the recession's always been due, and it doesn't. I've always expected that the difficult part of the recession will be in the year 21. The reason it was difficult this year was purely because of COVID, but we always anticipated the thing. And I think the real estate market has really just sort of rebounded as it was going to do what it was going to do anyway in this year, ready for what we're going to get next year. So we'll see. But at the moment, the only thing is, again, what I said, don't panic. I think if you look in a long-term market, if you look and think that you're going to buy something in this market now or in the next year, in 5-10 years' time, you'll look back in it and think, God, I'm glad I bought them. Because, you know, we are round about the bottom of the cycle. And, you know, in 5 years' time, you look back and think, God, that was cheap. So what I'm saying is, if you can afford it, and you know you're going to be able to make the repayments, then it's still right to keep going and looking at property. Okay.
Thank you. All right. So that's the end of today. Thank you so much for watching. and then we will see you next week.
And if it's hot, we'll be in shorts.
If it's hot, I'll wear a tie, but in shorts. All right.
And
I'll
at Christmas, he'll only wear a tie.
That's right. Gotta start working on get rid of my lobster and my Wagyu beef, and then get myself in shape. All right. This is Peter.
I'm Gary.
I'll see you next week.
Cheers.